Other news we're following right now, including the Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton. We're now told she is planning to testify before Congress in mid-January about the attack on the United States diplomatic mission in Benghazi, Libya. She canceled an appearance tomorrow because she's been ill. She fainted and suffered a concussion. She's recuperating right now. 3 State Department officials have resigned after a scathing new review of the Benghazi attack. Senior officials tell CNN 2 of those who stepped down oversaw security decisions at the diplomatic mission. Our Pentagon correspondent Chris Lawrence is joining us now with more on this new report, very tough report, the secrets it reveals. What's in this report, Chris?
Well, Wolf, we now know that the State Department officials knew that radical Islamic groups are operating around Benghazi and that there'd been a spike in attacks on Western targets. They were getting almost no help from the Libyan government in helping to secure that mission. So they were relying on some militia members to help guard the perimeter of the compound. By this report, we now know that those militia members simply ran away when the crowd approached. And although investigators can't be entirely sure, the speed at which those attackers came through that front gate at least raises the possibility that the guards simply left it open. Protests erupted across the Middle East on September 11th. But despite the Obama administration claiming Benghazi began as a protest,
what happened in Benghazi was, in fact, initially a spontaneous reaction to what had just transpired hours before in Cairo. This was not a pre-planned, premeditated attack.
A new report definitively says that's not true. Quote, the board concluded that there was no protest prior to the attacks. Investigators laid the blame for Benghazi on bureaucracy, missed warning signs, and grossly inadequate security. They interviewed more than 100 people and read through thousands of documents detailing the desperate attempts to save the U.S. ambassador. As smoke engulfed their safe area, Ambassador Chris Stevens and 2 others crawled to a bathroom. One of them was a security officer, and he opened a window, trying desperately to get some air. Instead, more smoke poured in. They couldn't see, couldn't breathe. So the officer crawled out, blindly, yelling for the others to follow. He slipped through another window and collapsed outside, only then realizing he was alone. Within a week of the attack, CNN's Arwa Damon walked through that compound.
The bathroom, when we saw it, was covered in black soot, and there were what appeared to be blood stains.
The shocking deaths prompted a rush to the microphones. Members of Congress claiming officials ignored red flags.
Why was the security at the consulate so inadequate despite 2 previous attacks on that facility in April and June of this year, an assassination attempt on the British ambassador in Benghazi?
But the report says consulate workers became desensitized to the threat. The longer a post is exposed to continuing high levels of violence, the more it comes to consider security incidents which might otherwise provoke a reaction as normal. Some suggested a quicker reaction could have helped save the ambassador.
Why couldn't the greatest military in the world respond?
Well, the simple answer to that is they just weren't close enough. The report acknowledges that the Pentagon dispatched a quick reaction force from Europe and rerouted a surveillance drone over Benghazi. But bottom line, it just was not close enough, and there wasn't enough time to make a difference.
This is a scathing, very tough report. I read it, and I must say it's pretty shocking that there was so much dereliction of responsibility in protecting American diplomats in Benghazi. We're going to have much more on this. Chris, thank you very, very much. And I know you've read it as well, Kate.
Yeah.